Welcome to Module 3. In this module, we'll be covering lyrics. Now, lyrics are the final piece of the puzzle. And with lyrics, we can actually express meaning. We can give meaning to a song. We can express a story. We can actually communicate an idea behind the melody. But keep in mind that melody, like the melodic line, that last module we did, is hands down the most important element in this whole exercise, okay? So just don't forget that. But lyrics are important. They can have a huge impact on a song and really accentuate and add to the power and punch of a song, right? So songwriters like Max Martin, as an example, I mentioned this guy, I'm not sure which module, but I mentioned him as he's like one of the top, technically, on the books, as one of the top songwriters of all time. He's only behind John Lennon and I think Paul McCartney, right? John Lennon and Paul McCartney are number 1 and 2, and then it's Max Martin. And to be honest with you, I think Max Martin might be number 2. I'm not sure. I still haven't looked that up. But I know these are the top 3 of all time. Now, how do we judge the top songwriters of all time? Unfortunately, it's with number ones. Okay, so it's got a monetary value. It's got a albums sold and all of that business, right? Paul McCartney and Max Martin is up there with these guys. And the reason I bring him up is because when it comes to lyrics, Max Martin has a different kind of take on lyrics, okay? And he puts a different kind of importance on lyrics than most songwriters. Most songwriters are looking for meaning. You know, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, they're actually going deep into like human behavior and moral issues and values and issues of the heart and life, and they go deep into lyrics and they're incredible storytellers. But Max Martin looks at lyrics from a different viewpoint. Now we're going to look at all these viewpoints, but I just wanted to touch on this because it's really important. Now the way he does it, Max Martin, is that he looks at how well does a lyric fit into the melodic line, into the melodic structure. So as far as phonetics go, the vowels, consonants, all that, how does does it actually contribute to the punch and the power of the melodic line? That's how he judges the value of a lyric, not so much in the substance of what is said. That's not the number one defining the most important factor. Okay, the most important factor is, does it flow well with the song? The vowels, is it an O, is it an I? Does it flow nicely? Does it contribute to the punch and to the power of the song? Okay? So it's a different take on lyrics, right? Now you might say that the songs that he's written, a lot of them were for Britney Spears and Keisha as well. Like a lot of the pop artists that, you can say that those lyrics are shallow, or they don't have a lot of substance, but they work, right? They work with the melody. So, that's one way to look at it. But in this module, we're going to cover different types of lyric writing, storytelling, right? And we're going to get deep into meaning and, like substance, but we're also going to look at the superficial aspect of phonetics, okay? And also look at how with some songs, it doesn't even matter at all right? And there are songs where we don't even know what they're talking about, okay? So that's for sure. Even in the English language, it's like phonetically that the way that the singer delivers it, it's no idea. It's incredible. Like some songs have zero meaning at all, but they have a very powerful melodic line. Okay, and that is the number one most important thing. After that, the lyrics are important, can be important, but they're not as important. Okay, so you have examples of, even in opera, especially opera, where, there's the Italian operas and there's the French, the German, who knows what they're talking about. But people are in the stands and they're watching and they're listening and they're feeling, Music operates on another band. It's the aesthetic level. you know, that wavelength is just, it's beyond words. So we get that emotion, we get that feeling without the words. Even though the guy's saying something, we don't know what he's talking about, right? We don't know what, no idea. There's a story there, but we can feel it. So that's the number one with a bullet, most important aspect of a song. So, you know, I mean, that's opera, but at the same time, you've got even English songs that, you know, you can't, nobody knows what they're talking about, right? And it doesn't matter, because you put your own meaning into it. And this is the beauty of music, you know, the beauty of songs. You can actually put your own meaning into things. And even with lyrics, even with the words, the way that the songwriter wrote them, you're going to have a different interpretation of what they mean to you. So it's pretty cool, you know, but you can have songs that have, like, you know, the lyrics, there's not even lyrics, there's humming or na-na-nas or, you know, da-da-das. Remember that song that went da-da-da, boom, 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 da-da-da. I think that's the title of the song, da-da-da. You know, that's from the 80s. I don't know, I think it was a German band, whatever. It was a huge hit. It was a massive hit. And the hook was da da da, boom 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 boom, da da da. That's it, over and over and over. I think there were some more lyrics there, but that was the hook, da da da. You know, and if you look at which song was it? The Beatles, or was it McCartney? McCartney, I think. Hey Jude, the Beatles, right? Towards the end of that song, the na-na-nas, right? Na, 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 hey Jude, right? And that's the hookiest, arguably the hookiest part of that song. The most memorable part has no lyrics. It's na-na-nas, right? And you just want it to keep going, and it does. It goes like, I don't know, it goes for like 10 minutes, it seems, at the end. It just doesn't, it keeps going and going and going. But that is the hookiest part, and it has no lyrics. So it's that melodic line. That is the gold. That is the number one thing we're chasing, okay? And then on top of that, for lyrics or na-na-nas or da-da-das, you can put whatever you want. So lyrics are super important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to diss lyrics, okay? I have lyrics in every single one of my songs, and I spend a lot of time writing them, okay? Because I love putting meaning and words and like a story behind songs. I really do love it. But I'm just telling you that it's not the be-all, end-all of a song, okay? The be-all, end-all, the make-break point is and always will be the melodic line. Okay, the lyrics add to it, can add to it in a big way, but don't necessarily have to add to it in a big way. And Max Martin is a great example of that. The guy's got so many number one hits, and a lot of his songs, a lot of people can say, and I would agree with them, that the lyrics and the lyrical content and the ideas and the concepts there are pretty superficial, you know? Hit me baby one more time, right? That's a Britney Spears song, yeah. Hit me baby one more, you know what I mean? But it connects with people, and it fits perfectly with the melody and the beat and the production, and there's a lot involved there, okay? But let's not lose sight of the melodic line, but at the same time, let's put some time into this lyrical part. We're gonna look at several techniques, we're gonna look at different ways of coming up with ideas and writing them and putting them down and making sense of them and the rhyming and all that business, okay? And so we're gonna get started in the next video, so I'll see you there.